The new generation of the NC750X has just arrived in Brazil, and in this video, you'll find out everything that's changed. Technical features, city performance, fuel consumption, insurance cost, price, and available colors. And of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons so you can make the best purchase decision. Is the NC worth the investment? Watch until the end to find out. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings the most complete two-wheel videos. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Currently, Honda offers the NC in two versions, the traditional one with the manual transmission, which they call manual transmission, and this version here with the automated dual clutch transmission. Hold on, I'll explain to you at the end of the video what the difference is between the two, okay? And I'll also tell you how this automated dual clutch transmission works, which shifts gears for you. For you, the acronym NC means new concept, and it came to Brazil in 2012 with the idea of being a motorcycle made to ride 100% on asphalt, offering the practicality of scooters. Like carrying objects here instead of the gas tank and also being very economical. Then other generations came along. Later, the engine changed from 700, right? It started with a 700 and then went to 750, which is the current engine. And of course, there were always adaptations, improvements, and of course, changes in technology and also in design. Well, and what has changed for this new generation of the NC? First of all, design. So we have a motorcycle that keeps an upright riding position, more focused on the asphalt, right? We also have some small, subtle design changes. I think the previous generation had changed a lot. I really like the design and I still like it here. I think Honda did a good job of keeping the essence, the NC DNA. However, they modernized it, made it more stylish, more modern, especially here in the headlight assembly where it really gained a new identity. Here in the headlight, I like that it got a more aggressive look. It has a unique identity, really interesting. Here on the side, we have the daytime running light, and down here we have the headlight, right? And also the high beam here at the bottom. So in the lights, the change was really here in the face of the optical set because it was already full LED in the previous versions. And it's interesting that the turn signals stay on at all times to show the vehicle in front that it's a motorcycle, since they'll see this setup, right? Headlight plus two turn signals it's a motorcycle. And it also features emergency stop signal technology. It still comes with this technology, which works when you brake suddenly at a certain speed. The electronics understand that. And it also activates the rear turn signals for safety to show the vehicle behind you so they stay alert that something happened. The windshield still doesn't have any kind of adjustment. It's rigid here, with this air intake to provide better aerodynamics. And it's not 100% original, no. It has original Honda accessories that you can buy at the dealership. So here we have a center stand which doesn't come standard, it's an accessory. We also have a top case rack, right, with these integrated passenger handles, really nice in this color. We also have the side case mounts already installed here. And those are the accessories, but Honda has more, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. And if you want to equip your NC750X 2026 or previous models, my tip is for you to get them. Scam's accessories, which are high quality and have a lot of variety, offer many more options than Honda's original ones. Scam has a complete line for you to equip your NC, like, for example, a tall windshield made of polycarbonate. There's also a center stand, fender, anti-spray, and a skid plate that's much more resistant than the current one, and it's available for both the manual transmission and dual clutch transmission versions. There's a headlight guard in carbon steel, and also a transparent polycarbonate headlight guard, as well as hand guards, really useful for trips. We have an engine guard and a pro-fairing guard, and you can even stretch your foot out on it during a trip, which is really nice. There's also a radiator guard, and it even comes with the name NC750, which is pretty cool. License plate reinforcement, side case support, top case support, and a global positioning system mount, all very useful. Scam has several accessories, not just for the NC, but for other types of motorcycles as well, from scooters to big trail and street bikes. So it's worth checking out Scam's website using the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. Oh, I forgot to mention that Scam also has several aluminum cases. They come in brushed aluminum color, which is silver, also in black, and there's also the economy line, which is very nice and also durable, with a really great price. I'll leave the products here in the description, marked as Scam. They're really high quality, I recommend them. And the NC got heavier, unfortunately, with the improvements, and the NC weighs 214 kilo dry weight. That is, not counting the fluids, and the fuel tank, which has a capacity of 14.1 liters of gasoline. And one of the features of the NC is that the fuel tank isn't located here where the tank would traditionally be. It's located in the back. You insert the key here and turn it to the left, where you see the marker, the symbol on the fuel pump. And it opened. Then you open it here and you unscrew this part to refuel. Turning it to the other side, to the right, we open it here. The storage compartment is actually quite spacious here, enough for a helmet and also other belongings, right? Like gloves, a raincoat, and a wallet. You can leave them here, okay, and look how nice, or if you don't want to leave your helmet, you can put a jacket or other belongings. And this helmet here is a flip-up one, right? The helmet is really big here and it fit perfectly, I liked it. The seat is also new, but what changed was the outer covering here, and there are new features, new stitching, right? I'll get on here so you can see. It even has the ground here with a height of 80.2 centimeters, of course. The motorcycle is on the center stand, but even so, I can put both feet on the ground without the stand. Look, without the stand, it's really very low, really. Look. I'm 177 centimeters tall and I can put both feet on the ground here without much difficulty. This is the riding position here. It's comfortable. Okay, but your legs are a bit bent. You don't sit here at more than a 90-degree angle, right? It's more like 45 degrees. The foot peg here is rubberized, however, the passenger's is retractable aluminum but without a rubber finish here. Overall, it's a comfortable motorcycle. You sit in an upright position. Unfortunately, the windshield is low, but I'll test it on the road and let you know my opinion. Passenger seat back here, the seat isn't that generous for the passenger, right? But I like the handle here, this support handle that's not original, right? I can hold on well, but the seat isn't that comfortable for the passenger and for putting it on the center stand. Let's see if it's very difficult. Oh, let's give a round of applause here. For the professional, we didn't have any changes in the suspensions. It still has a conventional fork here, which is not inverted, with a total travel of 120 millimeters. And the Showa dual bending valve technology, which according to Honda, adapts to the terrain thanks to an internal oil flow technology, and it doesn't have any adjustment. It's behind that Showa technology, okay? In the rear, it comes with ProLink, with 122 millimeters of travel and preload adjustment on the spring. As for the brakes, yes, we do have some changes. It went from a single disc to two floating discs with a diameter of 296 millimeters with Nissan calipers. And at the rear, we have a disc with a diameter of 240 millimeters. Remembering that both wheels have an anti-lock braking system, ABS, and the wheels are also new in addition to a new design. And since they're made of an aluminum alloy, they also helped reduce the weight by 1.8 kilograms. It still has 17-inch rims on both wheels and it comes with tubeless tires. And the engine that powers the new NC750X is the same as the previous generation. Please don't confuse it with the engine from the 750 Transalp XL. The Transalp has a different engine, it's a different technology. By the way, just out of curiosity, did you know that the engine of this motorcycle actually comes from a car? That's right. Honda actually took a Honda Fit engine, split it in half, starting from the very first version, which was 700. That comes with this engine. We have a two-cylinder engine, liquid-cooled, that produces 58 horsepower and 7 kilograms of torque. The engine has 6 gears and final chain drive. And now I'm going to talk about the dual clutch transmission technology, which is different from the manual. The manual has a lever here, it has a clutch, everything as usual, but this one here is dual clutch transmission. The dual clutch transmission technology is dual clutch, and it shifts gears for you automatically. It understands if you're downshifting, accelerating, and of course it also adapts to the riding modes. I'll discuss that soon, but for now, there are 2 things you need to know. There isn't a gear pedal here, so you won't be shifting gears with your foot, and there's also no clutch. How are you going to shift gears if you want to? Here on the paddle, to shift up, you use the top part, and to shift down, you use the little button below. It's very easy. It's the same technology as the Goldwing, and also the Africa Twin, and also the XAV. I almost forgot about the scooter. The NC is the cheapest one with this technology where you don't need to shift gears. Let me emphasize that with the dual clutch transmission version, you can shift at any time. You can switch here between the automatic or automated version, which is the correct name, and the manual one. So if you leave it in manual, for example, it will only shift gears if you want it to. If you press the paddles here, the bike will keep revving and it won't shift gears. And the cool thing is that you won't ruin your shoes since you'll do everything by hand here very easily, just like sports cars. The dashboard is 100% digital in color, and down here, this red part is for alert information. When it's running, it comes on and it's really meant to get your attention. And the cool thing is that with this dashboard here, you can just change the settings and you'll see. So here we have the type of screen, which in European Portuguese would be a type of panel. Then you have the bar, which is currently set to circle, and the simple one, let me set it here, put it on circle. Then when you exit, everything here becomes circular. You can set it up however you want, and then you can comment down below. Let me select the simple one. Wow, the simple one is really basic. There's nothing, just the speedometer, but you can leave it like that if you want. I'm going to keep the bar because I think it's much cooler. Anyway, there's a lot of information. You have the gear indicator here, the fuel gauge up there in the top right corner, the clock is here, of course the speedometer is here, and this icon shows the riding mode. Let me tell you, this little star is the favorite, where you can set whatever information you want, okay? And here, to adjust the bike settings, you do everything directly from the handlebar. Guys, here you have information, the onboard computer. So on trip A, you have the average consumption. On trip A, you have trip B average consumption. You have the overall consumption here and also the average speed. And here you can also see the riding mode settings, which I'll show you in a moment. In the standard mode, we have these settings. P stands for engine power and B is engine braking. D is how much the dual clutch transmission delivers, which is that old G button, remember? Now it changed to this D and T, which is the traction control. As you change the riding mode here, for example, sport, you see the bars change, so everything is at full. Except for the traction control in RAM mode, of course, on the contrary, you decrease everything. Power, brake, engine, and also the D from the dual clutch transmission. But the traction control is at maximum. There are 5 riding modes, 3 standard ones, standard, RAM, and sport, and the user one and 2 modes. And then you can configure each item the way you want, including turning off the traction control. But of course, every time you restart the motorcycle, the traction control will activate for safety. Here you have other information, several items that you can use to configure the motorcycle. This shift point here, the shift light that you can turn off here, is set to 6,000 revolutions per minute, which is the right moment to change gears. Here, automatic replacement Crips eco indicator. You can also change the background of the dashboard. You can set it to automatic or black. Look how cool the black one is. I'll leave it white here. Favorite information that I mentioned to you, which you can set up on the full dashboard. However, it doesn't have connectivity with your cell phone. And to protect the dashboard of your NC750X, my tip is for you to get the screen protectors from Protel. You probably have a screen protector on your phone, so why not put one on your much pricier motorcycle? Protel's screen protectors protect against damage caused by scratches, dust, wear over time, sunlight. They don't come off with water, and they use the same technology as the electrostatic screen protectors for cell phones. The kit comes complete with everything you need to install it. It's really worth putting Protel's screen protectors on your motorcycle because besides protecting the dashboard, it increases its resale value. And who knows, you might even be able to sell it above the FIP price. Guys, the cost is really low compared to the benefits you'll get by buying Protel's screen protectors. And if you need to remove the screen protector, it will come off very easily without leaving any damage or residue on the dashboard. Don't waste time. Go ahead and buy it now using the link in the description. Or point your phone's camera at the QR code that's on the screen here, at this link and on the QR code. You can use my discount code Amanda20 to pay much less, but I'll also leave it highlighted here in the video. Protel's screen protectors are available for many types of motorcycles, not just for the new ANC. It's worth checking out the website and, of course, sharing this news with your friends. On the left side controls, we have this joystick here to adjust the panel settings. The cool thing is that it's illuminated, both this white part here and the center, here. The button for the riding modes, horn, turn signal to the right and to the left, and here to downshift. And up here we have the high beam button and also the flasher. This part here is the handbrake. Since you can't leave it in gear, you pull here and it will lock the wheel. To unlock it, actually, that's it. On the right side, we have the button here to cut off the engine current, the ignition button. Here we have the hazard lights, and here the little button for you to change. Switch from D to M, which would be from dual clutch transmission to manual, and N is to disengage. It turns off, it stays in neutral. For safety, you need to press this button here to engage the bike and then be able to ride. And this button is also illuminated. And now that I've already shown you everything about the new NC750X 2026, it's time to ride it through the streets of São Paulo and also hit the road, and finish the video with the positive and negative points. And if you're enjoying this video so far, please leave a like. And at the end, if you think I deserve it, you can subscribe to the channel. Now come ride with me. Here in the city, the standard mode is coming. It's a bit of a mess here in the lane. At first, you might find it strange since it doesn't have a clutch, and I'm used to feathering the clutch to control it at low speeds. So, that's the first strange thing for those who already ride motorcycles, for those who already have experience. Yeah. So that's something you'll have to get used to. Dimensions. Well, guys, it's a crossover. It's a pretty wide crossover here. It's agile, but unfortunately, it ends up having those dimensions. Driving it down narrow streets is tricky, even more so. This corridor here is narrow, but the engine is very smooth. It doesn't jerk, so even without a clutch lever here, you can control it easily. Its handling is impressive. This 17-inch wheel bike corners really well. So you get a lot of agility. So that's it, guys. It wasn't made to ride in the lane, but if you're careful, you can manage because of its size. But look at this. I'm going 10 kilometers per hour and it's really smooth. That's really cool. You can control it. Thank you. Oops. Now it's done. You can have control. She just shifted gears. She went up a gear for me, so that's it. But for example, here it's at 50 kilometers per hour. I thought fourth gear was too high. I can downshift here with my thumb. So you end up managing this while riding, but it's really enjoyable to ride. So, who is the NC intended for? I think, first of all, it's for someone who wants a robust motorcycle for hitting the road, especially with a passenger and doesn't know how to shift gears. Either they came from scooters or they want more convenience, and this motorcycle here will help. So that's it. I think it's meant for that audience, but the dual clutch transmission is going to make the difference. For those who are moving on from scooters or don't want to learn how to shift gears, what do you think? Write it down here below if that's your case too. If you wanted a bigger motorcycle, something more practical to enjoy riding without having to worry about shifting gears, the brake has improved. Now, there's something I'm noticing that's off with this bike, guys. The front suspension is bottoming out on speed bumps and potholes. It's reaching the end of its travel. So, I don't know if this is a problem with this specific unit, maybe it's low on oil, or if it's an issue with all NCs. On the highway, the windscreen throws all the wind right at my helmet. I don't even know how the audio is for you guys, but honestly, it doesn't even make me want to speed up. There's just so much turbulence. There should be a better windscreen, in my opinion. Considering it's a bike meant for riding on asphalt, you really need good aerodynamics to make your trip more comfortable. Speaking of comfort, guys, this bike is comfortable up to a certain point because after a while you start to feel the seat getting hard, your butt gets sore from the seat, so riding for many miles will tire you out. There's no way around it. When it comes to cornering, it's really nice, so that's the thing. I was in 5th gear and I thought, I think this curve could be better. In 4th gear, I have more control and power, so I shifted down to 4th, that's it. So, at all times you have control of the bike, overtaking, and all the other riding modes. I'm in sport mode because I think it's cooler. I hope I don't have to use rain mode. We don't want rain mode, you know? Honestly, for me, it's good. I'm not going to mess with user mode because it's great, the way sport mode is delivering here. Let me just put it here. I'm at full on everything. Only the traction control is low, so for me it's great. I'm not going to turn off the traction control or anything. Wow. Woohoo, it brakes well, the bike brakes well. Its top speed, according to Honda, is over 133 km. It's right there on the screen for you to see, but that's the real top speed. Global positioning system is not the dashboard. The dashboard shows more, of course, but that was Honda's measurement of the top speed of the new NC. So, tell me what you think. That's not its purpose. Going 299 km/h, it's a crossover. When it comes to aerodynamics, honestly, the windscreen is really bothering me here. There should be a deflector here on the side. I thought the new double disc looks cool. So it gave more braking power to the front, which is a good thing. I really liked it. When it comes to cornering, the handling of this bike is really good. It's a very agile bike. You can take curves on roads, even those with a lot of uphill sections. It has stamina. It has the power for you to take on the road and have a lot of fun. Its focus is on road, meaning 100% asphalt. It's not a big trail bike. And that's it. This robust tank is really interesting. Look, I just noticed I switched it to rain mode. This is really bad, really bad. Why? Because you accidentally press here, you change the riding mode. I was in sport mode, I pressed it by accident, I did this, you saw it, I already changed it, that's bad, I don't want to change it that easily. Regarding insurance, it really depends on the profile of the city where you live. For example, if you live in Rio de Janeiro or São Paulo, some regions, the insurance will be much more expensive. But if you live in the countryside, some regions of the southeast, you will definitely pay much less. The good thing is that you can get a quote based on your profile, your age, your zone improvement plan code, where you live, everything just right. At the brokerage, they have the cheapest insurance in Brazil because they're 100% digital and use artificial intelligence to give you the price instantly. With no obligation, you fill in your information and several insurance options come up. I did a simulation here. I used the profile of a man, 41 years old, and used the zone improvement plan code of Mogi das Cruzes, which is where I am right now. And look at this. Several insurance options came up, from those with deductibles, repair coverage, to just theft and robbery coverage. I'll choose an intermediate one here to run insurance for motorcycle theft and robbery with 100% FIP coverage. And you also have total loss coverage for theft, robbery, and fire, plus 24-hour assistance. That's nice because if something happens and you get stranded, you can just call them. A tow truck, a one-time tow, is really expensive. Some tow trucks cost almost half of what you pay for insurance, for sure. And there's also a tracker and to run and monitoring here through the app. From 2,820 Rs to 2,036, you can split this amount into 12 installments. Look how great that is, it's really worth it. Get your insurance right away with a no-obligation quote right here in the link in the description. Or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen and you'll already get a discount even if you already have insurance. Just do it to simulate because when it's time to renew, you'll see that you'll pay much less. Because Protecting is 100% digital, uses AI, and doesn't have high expenses like other brokers, and that turns into discounts for you. And with the link below or the QR code, you pay even less with the Amandinha Beleza coupon at Protecting. It's really easy, no bureaucracy. Click, get a quote, done. Her fuel consumption with me, a mix of city driving and highway. Driving in sport mode, she averaged 19 kilometers per liter. According to Honda, she can reach up to 24 kilometers per liter. This was measured by the Mauá Institute. If you have an NC750X, write down below what your fuel consumption is with it. And what's the difference between the manual transmission and dual clutch transmission versions? Well, you don't need to shift gears on the dual clutch transmission, and on the manual nothing changes. Besides that, there are a few differences. The first one is almost minimal. Here at the rear of the dual clutch transmission, we have a slightly longer suspension travel. The weight is also different because of the technology, so with the manual you have 10 kg less, which is a good thing. The manual also comes with the riding modes. You won't have that D mode, which is to make the dual clutch transmission sportier, the dual clutch transmission mode actually. So you won't have that option to configure, so you'll only get power, brake, engine, and traction control. Another difference is here on the handlebars. The manual version here lacks the engine brake. And of course, it doesn't have the D in neutral here for you to shift gears. And of course, it doesn't come with the paddles for you to shift up and down. And finally, we have the difference in the wheelbase here, so the manual version is a little bit shorter, just a small difference in the wheelbase compared to the dual clutch transmission version, and of course, there's a difference in price. So, which one would you choose, the dual clutch transmission version or the manual version? Write it down below. No matter which one you choose, Pablo can help you make this dream come true and get this car into your garage. No interest, no down payment, and with installments. Look at that, amazing people. The cheapest version, the manual one, with installments of rupees 557.78. And the dual clutch transmission version, which is a little more expensive, with installments of rupees 613.55. These reduced installments are special only for Amandinha's followers and also for a limited time. Get in touch with Pablo here using the QR code, the link is in the description, and talk to him. He will help you get the NC750X or another motorcycle from a different brand, a car, or even the property of your dreams. Yes, a house too. If you didn't know, Amandinha also has a home consortium. I'm planning to get my dream property, and you can plan for yours too. car, motorcycle, or house? Just message Pablo here on WhatsApp. Send it now or you'll forget. Send it now. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link. Send it now. 1. Hi Pablo, how are you? I came from Amanda's channel. I want this motorcycle, an NC, another Honda, or a car. And then he will look at all your finances, see how much you can pay in installments and which vehicle you want, right? And then, once everything is set, he will come up with the best strategy for you. It's really worth it. Do like Amandina, plan ahead to make your dreams come true. Get in touch now. Now I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of the new NC750X. Amandina, who doesn't own the truth, you are yourself. You have every right to agree, disagree, or even add your own thoughts by using the comments respectfully, but first you need to be subscribed to the channel. You can comment. Feel free to start with the positive ones. Design has already been changing over time. I think it's moved away from that old man look, that old man's bike vibe, and it's getting more and more modern. And this latest generation now, with these headlights, it really looks bold, really fierce. So that's a positive point for the design. Another positive point in this version here is the dual clutch transmission. It's a technology from Honda that was first introduced on 2 wheels, and then other manufacturers came out with their own versions. It makes life a lot easier. I think technology and innovation are really great. And the cool thing is, if you want to change gears there, you can. Positive point. Another positive point is the exciting engine. Nothing compares to that first 750. It has been evolving over time, getting more and more fun and exciting. Fuel efficiency is another positive point. What did Honda promise? 24, I couldn't reach that, but it's still economical. So that's a really good thing. Another good thing is that the riding modes have now increased to 5 with those 2 user modes that you can configure however you want. A positive point is that the handling of this bike has been very well tuned since the previous generations. And now, with 214 kg, yes, it's heavy, but the way the weight is distributed when you're cornering or riding it, you really feel its weight, so it's very good. Another amazing thing that I love about this bike is this storage compartment. I keep wondering why bikes don't come with this system because it's really cool and it doesn't ruin the bike's aesthetics. You can put your belongings in here. Another positive point is the very complete dashboard with lots of information. And still talking about the cockpit, a good thing is that the buttons here are illuminated. Okay, it's pretty subtle, but I found it interesting. Who knows, maybe this is a small step for Honda to add it to other motorcycles. I'm praising it to encourage them. It's definitely a positive point. Another good thing about this motorcycle is that it's accessible for short men and women, not just because of the height. But the seat here is kind of narrow. So you can put both feet on the ground more easily, making life easier for those who don't have legs like mine, like Amandina. Another positive point is the Honda Ignition Security System from Honda. How does it work? Even if you make an identical copy of the key or use a screwdriver to try to start it, the motorcycle won't turn on because it has an electronic immobilizer decoder here. If I'm right, that's the name and it's like a chip. Even with an identical copy, it wouldn't work. And how does it help reduce crime? Positive point, another thing I liked was that the brakes are very good. A positive point for the brakes. It comes with a 3-year warranty, the Honda Assistance System, which provides coverage not only in Brazil, but also in some Latin American countries. And last but not least, genuine Honda accessories. For a long time, Europeans had accessories while Brazilians did not. I'm not sure about the price, you'll need to check at the dealership, but at least you have the option of accessories made to match the motorcycle. That's a plus. Now, the negative points. The first one is cruise control. Generation after generation, and Honda still hasn't added this feature. That even rhymed, okay? The dual clutch transmission helps, but cruise control is great, especially on long trips. Another downside, in my opinion, is the windshield, but you can buy a taller aftermarket one. But it could be adjustable since its focus is riding on the highway, and the more aerodynamic, the better. Another thing that can be a bit of a problem on the highway is the seat. I found it hard. I don't remember the others being this hard, but it gets tiring, guys. The seat is hard, it gets tiring. So, put on a gel seat or change the seat if you're going to ride for a long time. That's it. Another thing I didn't like was that the riding mode button is in a bad position. It changes the mode just by touching the panel. Another downside, but Amante, didn't you call it positive? Hold on, it's missing connectivity. Unfortunately, the European version has it, but the Brazilian one doesn't. I don't think it's because of certification issues with Anatel or other agencies and so on. There's the wait, that time with the basic bureaucracy, and there wasn't enough time to certify the connectivity system here, so that's a downside. Besides that, there's something else on the dashboard. It doesn't show the range, so that's another downside. It's also missing a USB port, unfortunately. It doesn't come standard. You have to buy it as an accessory, considering the price of the bike. I think it should come with a little port, in my opinion. Another negative thing, which I always mention here about the NC, even though I love this system, the downside here is that if you stop to refuel, if you have a passenger, it's not a problem. The person gets off for safety anyway. You can't refuel while sitting on the bike. But if you tie luggage here, then it becomes a downside because you'll have to untie everything, just like Honda has the side cases. It could be that this downside here ends up making the rack useless. But I have to say that if you tie luggage here, you'll have a whole hassle when it's time to refuel. Another downside is that the front suspension isn't inverted and it also bottomed out at times. Another negative point that hasn't changed. I think it's a bit low, and when you add weight with a passenger, it ends up scraping on some speed bumps. I need to say that riding alone, it didn't happen to me, but with a passenger, yes, it does happen. If it happens to you, write it down below. And the last somewhat important item is the price. I always thought this bike was a bit expensive. Of course, it has its own niche, especially now with a dual-clutch transmission. But you say everything's expensive in Brazil. Is it really expensive cheap, or am I just not earning enough? Write it down here below and let me know. Also, if you have more positive or negative points here. The NC750X is available in 2 colors with a suggested retail price starting at 56,621 Rs for the manual version and 61,948 Rs for the dual-clutch transmission version. Remember that at Japalto you can buy your NC or any other Honda motorcycle with the best service in Brazil. They are the biggest in São Paulo with 32 stores spread across São Paulo, Greater São Paulo, the countryside, also Alphaville, in short, several stores. They offer test rides, so get in touch with them here to schedule your test ride at the nearest store. And of course, buy yours with the best conditions. They accept your used one as part of the payment, offer easy financing, and much more. Don't finalize your Honda purchase before talking to Japalto here. Mention you saw it here on the Motoplay channel, Mandina's channel, since they support and sponsor Mandina's channel. You'll also get top service and great benefits. So, is it worth investing in the NC750X? Well, in my opinion, if you're only looking at the manual version, then I think there are several options on the market, and it's up to you to choose the best value for you. We have many brands, including new ones, all coming here to the channel, which you always follow firsthand. Now, if you like the dual-clutch transmission, well, for now only Honda offers it, so yes, it might be worth the investment. The technology is really good, the convenience of riding with dual-clutch transmission is really cool, and it's the cheapest dual-clutch transmission from Honda. So, it ends up being a good investment since it doesn't have any competitors. But that's it. I want to know from you. Do you think the NC is worth it? If not, write down here. If you have one, write down here. If you liked the video, leave a like and share it with your friends and WhatsApp groups because I'm sure they'll like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By the way, guys, members get perks. There's a cheap price you pay. There are photos of Mandinha, a calendar, exclusive content, and also early access. The link is here in the description. To become a member and help this channel grow even more, subscribe to the channel. Did you like this video? It's a super complete video for you about the new NC750X with both the positive and negative points. I deserve your subscription, and up here I'll leave a super complete video for you about another motorcycle that I know you'll like. Down here I'll leave a playlist with all the motorcycles on the channel, so that's it. See you next time. Big kiss.